Hi, I'm Anthropredix, and today I'm going to be doing a video of Elizabeth Warren versus Joe Biden Democrat primary for the 2020 presidential election. So, some new polls have come out in certain states showing Elizabeth Warren gaining on Joe Biden. So, I decided to do a primary matchup video of how I think it would be running down in the Democratic primary. So, Elizabeth Warren and Joe Biden are the top two candidates. Currently, Joe Biden is leading nationally, but that lead has shrunk in the last week or so. So now we're going to go on to the video. So as usually most of my videos, I start out west and make my way east across the country. And sometimes I'll leave states blank and then come back to the ones I think are going to be really competitive. So I'll start in the state of Washington. I think Washington would go to Elizabeth Warren. Oh, and by the way, I know it has the electoral votes on there, but I couldn't get the delegate map to work, so I'm just using winner take all format. So I'm actually taking notes on how many states go to each candidate, do winner take all. That way it's just easier so I can have the numbers for you because the delegate map is kind of hard to get working. I don't know why. So I think Elizabeth Warren will win the state of Washington. It feels like a very more progressive state. And Oregon, I think will also go to Elizabeth Warren, Portland and everything, and all Antifa and stuff. I feel like people there tend to be more progressive and more left wing. The state of California, this is a big one to go. And this has the most delegates, I believe. This state's going to be very close. Elizabeth Warren versus Joe Biden. There's a lot of, well, obviously a lot of Democrats in California, but there's also a lot of progressives and a lot of people living in the LA, Hollywood area that are very more far left and in favor of bigger things like climate change, global warming, and such. And I think ultimately Elizabeth Warren will win that. And that's big. That's big for her campaign that she would win California. That's very big. Nevada, Elizabeth Warren versus Joe Biden. I'm actually going to give that one to Joe Biden. I don't see Elizabeth Warren as the candidate to really appeal to Hispanics. I think that candidate best is probably Beto O'Rourke, maybe Julian Castro. Joe Biden and Elizabeth Warren don't really appeal that well, but Joe Biden would do better because he could say he's tied to the Obama administration. So I think Biden will win Nevada. Idaho, I think, will also go to Joe Biden. A lot of the Democrats up there are more moderate, conservative Democrats, and Joe Biden will win that appeal. Wyoming and Montana, pretty much the same thing. Only moderate Democrats up there that will still vote for, especially Montana. There'll be Democrats who still vote for Democrat candidates in off-year elections, but most of the time for president, they'll vote pretty Republican. But the few Democrats up there are very conservative. Utah, same thing, goes to Joe Biden. Yeah, the Mormons, a lot are Republicans in that state, but more likely that they'll go for Joe Biden. State of Arizona, same thing. Joe Biden will win the state of Arizona. Again, not that great Hispanic appeal, but it'll probably go to him because he has the Obama tie. And Alaska, this is going to be surprising. I actually think Elizabeth Warren is going to win both Alaska and Hawaii. Kind of odd states to say that for, but they seem very progressive in Hawaii, definitely. And Hawaii being Obama's home state, the city he was born in. I know he's representative from Illinois, but he was born in Hawaii. In Alaska, if Sarah Palin has taught us anything, Alaska's a wild card. So I feel like Alaska is going to be the surprise and go to Elizabeth Warren. New Mexico, I think, um, I think New Mexico is going to go to Elizabeth Warren. Actually, I think part of it is President Trump calling her Pocahontas and stuff. That's gonna, well, she's not really Native American. Even if you're still believing in that, she's not. But a lot of people may have been kind of mad or pissed off about that. So I think some people will vote for Elizabeth Warren out of spite on that one. That will make it close in Arizona, but I think in Arizona only moderate Democrats win. Kyrsten Sinema being one, Joe Biden being another one. So I think Elizabeth Warren will win New Mexico, but I don't think it's really going to be enough for Arizona to flip. Colorado, um, John Hickenlooper, more moderate Democrats. I think Joe Biden would win in Colorado. Again, the moderate Democrat really is going to win in these states like that. Oklahoma. This is, Oklahoma I see as being a Biden state. Texas I also see as being a Biden state. And by the way, this is just what I think based off the poll numbers right now. This isn't what This is what I'm predicting what we know right now. This is obviously not in a year from now. We don't know what's going to happen or what could change, but this is just off the data we know right now. Okay, Kansas. This is going to be a surprise. I'm going to give Kansas to Elizabeth Warren. I don't know why. I have a very strange feeling Elizabeth Warren is going to win Kansas. Nebraska, I think she's going to win Nebraska as well. These states that are more Republican are Republican, but I feel like they have some progressive leaning. North Dakota, South Dakota, I feel the same about that. Both going to Warren. They have some progressives up there, and I think that is going to be enough to flip it. Now the Rust Belt. Actually, no, I'm going to come back to the Rust Belt. That's where it's going to get interesting. Iowa. This may be a death blow to Joe Biden. Iowa is going to go to Elizabeth Warren. Joe Biden has lost almost all energy and all support there, and I think Elizabeth Warren's going to capitalize on that and win in Iowa. Missouri, I think Joe Biden's going to win Missouri because he's tied to the Obama administration and everything, and I think that's going to be enough to give him Missouri. Arkansas and Louisiana is going to go. Joe Biden's big support is going to be in the South. That's going to be his core support, really. Missouri, Alabama, they're going to go for Joe Biden. Georgia, South Carolina will as well. There's two more. Florida. You know what? Florida, I'm going to say goes to Elizabeth Warren, actually. I'm going to say Florida goes to Elizabeth Warren because Andrew Gillum shocked everyone in the primary last time. I think it's going to happen again. North Carolina is going to go to Elizabeth Warren, I think. I think that's going to be a big surprise to the primary night. Virginia is going to go to Joe Biden because they love the establishment figure there, and that's exactly what Joe Biden is. Tennessee, I think, goes to Joe Biden. I think it's a pretty Republican state. Tend to be more conservative. Democrats, if there are any there. Elizabeth Warren, I think, is going to win the state of Kentucky. I think she's going after Susan Collins in Maine a lot, but I think Mitch McConnell, if she goes after her, that's probably going to drive up some more progressive Democrat vote. West Virginia, this may be a surprise. Very progressive there. I'm going to say it's Elizabeth Warren that wins that one. And I don't think that President Obama and Joe Biden putting a lot of coal miners out of work are really going to help play into that Democrat field. So I don't really see that as a great place for Joe Biden. Illinois, I'm going to give Illinois to Elizabeth Warren, actually. I think Illinois, Obama's home state, is going to go to Elizabeth Warren. I think Chicago is going to turn out some votes, more progressive, and they're going to go for Elizabeth Warren. Indiana is going to be surprised. I think Indiana is going to go for Elizabeth Warren, too. A lot of these states that may have gone for Hillary last time and didn't go for Bernie are going to go for Warren. We'll head to the Northeast before we go into the Rust Belt. D.C., District of Columbia, it's going to go to Joe Biden. That's pretty much Joe Biden, establishmentarian. That's pretty much exactly what he is. So not much of a surprise there. Maryland, I think Maryland and Delaware both are going to go for Joe Biden. That is really his home state, and Maryland being a state very close is very popular with him. The state of New York. Now let's do New Jersey first. New Jersey, I think, is going to go to Elizabeth Warren. I think Elizabeth Warren will win New Jersey. Connecticut, I think, will go to Elizabeth Warren as well. Northeast is pretty much her main part of the support. Rhode Island, I think, will go to Elizabeth Warren. Her home state of Massachusetts, also my home state of Massachusetts, that's going to go to Elizabeth Warren for sure. And actually, I'm going to be making a video soon about the 2020 Senate races, and I'm telling you, this one, the primary challenge between Joe Kennedy and Ed Markey, is going to be interesting. So, Vermont, Bernie Sanders' home state, will go to Elizabeth Warren. New Hampshire, this is going to be the second big blow to Joe Biden. Elizabeth Warren will win in New Hampshire. I have no doubt in my mind she'll win in New Hampshire, and I do think she's going to win in Maine. That's obviously all four, but it's a primary, but yeah. Elizabeth Warren wins all of New England, New Jersey, and now we have New York. I think this is going to be a surprise. I think Elizabeth Warren is going to win New York as well. She's going to capitalize on that, and that's going to be something Joe Biden's campaign is going to have a hard time recovering from. So, now we're on to the Rust Belt. The Rust Belt's what elected President Trump last time around, and what's going to be very contentious this time, Joe Biden's whole thing is he has a Rust Belt appeal. Does he have more Rust Belt appeal than Elizabeth Warren? Yes. Does he have more than President Trump right now, in my opinion? No. So it won't really help him that much in the general, I don't think, but in the primary, Joe Biden will win his birth state of Pennsylvania. In a general election, I don't think he would. I think President Trump will get Pennsylvania, but he will win it in a primary. I think Joe Biden will also win Ohio. I think he will win there. I think Elizabeth Warren will win in Wisconsin. I think that's a big one. Wisconsin will go to Elizabeth Warren because in the primaries, I could be wrong. I think Wisconsin won for Ted Cruz for Republican side and Bernie Sanders. I think. I could be wrong. You can correct me on that if you want. But they like more far right and far left candidates. I think Elizabeth Warren fits that bill perfectly. Minnesota will do the same. Minnesota will vote for Elizabeth Warren over Joe Biden. And Michigan, I think Michigan will go to Joe Biden. I think that's how it's going to end. All right, so let's do a count of Elizabeth Warren wins 27 states, I count. So let's make sure I did this right. 27 states. Okay, so that means Joe Biden will win 23, if that's correct. So this is going to be a very close primary between Elizabeth Warren and Joe Biden. I don't think it'll be settled. I think it will go to contested convention if the map does play out this way. Because I know a lot of Democrat top donors don't like Elizabeth Warren because they believe she'll go through on her crazy promises of taking all money out of politics and limiting the bank's influence on the political system. And the Democratic donors, especially the Wall Street donors, don't want that at all because that means they lose all their power. They're going to do everything they can to make sure either Biden wins or they're probably going to end up supporting Trump over Warren. I remember seeing an article about that a few days ago. So this primary is going to have a lot of money and energy into it. But at the end of the day, right now, if it's Warren versus Biden, I do think Elizabeth Warren will win the primary and be the Democrats' nominee for president from 2020. Thank you for watching the video. Please like and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next one.